In today's episode, I don't do backups, but I don't want to lose any data. Mom versus grandma mentality. It is always the fault of the person that fixes the problem. Hold this. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. I don't do backups, but I don't want to lose any data. Another tale from my university sysadmin/tech support days. In my department, we had a fairly robust data protection environment. We were mostly a Linux shop for faculty and students, but our admin folks were totally Windows, so we always ran a small NT4 or later AD domain, so folks' production files were always on our cool high availability server. Linux users mounted their home directories on the same appliance. For laptops, we offered advice only. Mostly we closed our eyes and hoped no one would do anything too stupid. Biggest problem were professors getting their laptops lost or stolen while traveling. We would just kick to our university security team to deal with. This story deals with another department, a small administrative and finance unit. This was basically 4 people who used Windows and had no server-type solution. Everything was stored on their desktops like a personal PC at home. The admin person had come from a networked/server environment and really wanted that level of data protection for her folks. We set up an AD domain and gave them a slice of our file server, and things were good. Except for the finance guy. Finance guy kept 100% of his email/docs/spreadsheets, of which he had thousands, saved on his PC. He had no interest in using the server solution, didn't want to have to learn anything, also seemed to not trust us to keep his data safe. As if his unbacked up desktop was safe. The problem was his boss had no interest in forcing him to do anything different. Admin lady could suggest, nag, beg, but finance guy was a law unto himself. We did get him an external backup drive and hook it up for him, but we never knew if he was really doing backups or not. He assured us he was. Finally, the day came when this office decided to refresh the desktop machines for this group. For everyone except FG, it was easy, but since FG had special needs, I met with him to figure out how to handle his migration. He was perfectly pleasant to deal with, he just didn't want to think about it too much. I just needed to make it work, and make sure he lost no data. I'm sure there are lots of folks who have had similar experiences. In the end, I ordered a machine with a spare HD bay, pulled the drive out of his original machine and set it up as the D drive. Showed him how to find it and explained that there is no way any of his files could missing unless he deleted them. As far as I know, he's still in the same job, doing things the same way. Mom versus grandma mentality. It's been a while since I've done much desktop tech support. But that doesn't stop my family from asking me a million questions every holiday season. I hope this fits into the sub. Most of this year, my mom had been lamenting about her internet not working at speed. She had bought a new router, had her ISP check everything on the outside of the house, and they said the problem has to be in your home. So cue the family IT person. I come visit for the holidays and get asked if I can take a quick peek, which is never quick. I don't have a laptop and my mom's won't boot up. Her exact words are, "I don't know what's wrong. It just gives me a black screen." But that's okay. I need my internet for my tablet and TV more. So, I pull out my phone, connect to her wireless and turn off my internet connection. Run speed test. Less than 1 MB. Yup, something's broken. I take a look at the router and this thing is brand new. No reason it shouldn't be running properly unless it's misconfigured. I ask her if there is another internet connection I can plug the router into and check to see if it's the router or the cable. Nope. Just the single connection. I start to trace the cable back from the wall, down to the basement, out to the PoE. Great. Please don't be this cable, it's easily 100 feet long, there are no obvious points of damage, plus it below zero outside. I ask to borrow an extension cable, I run outside to freeze my fingers off and plug straight into the cable coming to the house. Asking myself as I'm dancing around in the cold exactly how the heck do I get into these situations so much? Dang it. It boots happily and I check the speed. 120 plus mbs. Fool. I end up having to drive into town 45 minutes one way. Buy the cable and all the parts needed, about $140, crawl around in her basement including her spider-infested crawl space. Rerun the cable, adding a few splitters so next time I might not also have to freeze while doing all this. And get her back up and running. Took me about 4 hours to run this cable and pin it up haphazardly. But Mom is happy. I saved her $400, which was the price quoted by her provider. Yay! However, no good deed goes unpunished. She asks if now that part is done can take her laptop home with me and see if I can get it to boot up. I say no problem, as I know I'll be back in a few weeks to help her with some other things and to finish pinning that cable up properly. Get home and my stepson, who also wants to go into computers, asks if he can take a look. I tell him it's not backed up, so don't be deleting stuff, otherwise have fun. He texts me about 30 minutes later. It's slow, but it boots now. Me, awesome, how'd you fix it? Stepson, it was caught on downloads, I just waited it out. Can I try to make it boot up faster? Me/facepalm. That makes sense. Sure. 1 hour after that, stepson is pleased with his work and says it's running smoothly again. He disabled some things at startup, ran antivirus scanner on it, and noticed the drive was maxing out at boot, so ran a defrag, DSKCK, etc. Now it's all better. Text my mom, I had stepson take a look, he said it was stuck on downloads, so he got you up to date and cleaned it up so it runs a bit smoother. You're good to go. Mom, great. Give him $50 for his help. I'll pay you back. What? Seriously? I spent $100, crawled around in you spider-infested crawl space for 45 minutes, and saved you $400, and all I got was a thank you. But my stepson does a few clicks, and he gets $50. Gow off. Talk about mom versus grandma. Leia Ami. It is always the fault of the person that fixes the problem. My wife and I are both educators working for our county's public school system. However, I was an IT guy for 35 years, and am often my extended family's go-to resource for technical support. Tonight, my wife wanted to add an alternate resource to her virtual class Zoom meeting. Rather than ask for help, she's very aware of her doctorate and much greater tenure and salary as an educator in our system than I, so feels she shouldn't need my help. She spent a lot of time trying things in Zoom without success. When she finally mentioned the problem she was having, I asked her to enter the person's email address, example, dorothy.road@ourschoolsystem.tld, in the alternate host field and not the name, Dorothy Road. That didn't work. I guessed that the person had changed her name at some time, and Zoom only had her old name listed, but our mail system has both. One's an alias, I assume. I asked my wife to type just her first name in the to field of an email. Voila, there were 2 entries, with the same photo, Dorothy Road and Dorothy Jones. My wife insisted that they had to be 2 different people, until I pointed out the identical photos. Entering dorothy.jones@ourschoolsystem.tld as the Zoom alternate host, pressing return, and then save, worked. Elapsed time, 3 minutes. Yay? No. Apparently, it is my fault that she wasted an hour trying various things without success, made worse that I seem to know what the problem is immediately. It was just a good guess based on experience. Hold this. Few years ago, I was cleaning out storage room looking for old electronics to donate. Out storage room, which looks like smaller version of warehouse form raiders of the lost Arkansas. Digging through old electronics, I found 21-inch CRT monitor. That thing is size of small refrigerator. I lifted it to my shoulder and started to carry it back to my IT office. The thing was really heavy. I am walking through narrow corridor to my office when one of my users literally blocks my passage, folds his arms and tell me, "Hey, OP, so I have this problem with my home computer." There is a pop-up with ads showing up once a while in the right bottom corner of my screen, and I can't get rid of it. I am standing there in disbelief, looking like the Atlas holding the earth, thinking if chiropractor's services are covered in my health plan. He continues, "So what you think will cause this?" I lifted the monitor, told him hold this and handed him the monitor. He startled grabbed the monitor, almost ready to collapse under its weight. I fold my arms and said okay. Let me think about this. Are you using Chrome? He handed monitor back to me, apologized and sheepishly left. I am hoping he got the point.